Joining me now, Oklahoma Senator James Lankford, who serves on the Senate Homeland Security Committee. Senator, good to have you with us. Thanks for being here.
Thanks. Good to see you.
So when you hear President Biden say that he is considering releasing more oil from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve and will do that sort of as necessary, what goes through your mind? Is that an effective strategy here?
No, it is literally a drop in the barrel at that point. What really needs to be done is to dramatically increase production, not just for the United States and for our consumers, but worldwide. We have to have a replacement of what's happening worldwide of Russian oil and gas. Russia's a big gas station is all that they are. Their economy is completely dependent on gas sales and on oil sales. So we've got to find new places for them, for Europe, for multiple other places to be able to get oil. And what's happening right now is the Biden administration cut off the Keystone pipeline. That was the Canadians having the ability to be able to sell oil. They weren't selling oil to the United States. That pipeline was going through the United States, going to Houston, and they were putting that oil in the world market. So they cut off that source. They've cut off all leasing for all federal leasing to reduce it. Biden right now has a candidate that he's put up in front for the Federal Reserve that is very outspoken to say they want to use the Federal Reserve power to cut off capital for all kinds of projects, anything related to oil and gas. And just last week, while Russia is invading Ukraine, just last week, the Biden administration announced they're going to cut off use through FERC to be able to cut off natural gas exports and natural gas pipeline expansion. So in one hand, while Biden is saying, I'm going to do everything I can to be able to relieve this, with his other hand, he is literally limiting access to oil and gas to the world and to the United States. He needs to have one clear message, and right now he's trying to get by with both.
You know, is there any sense that anyone who has influence in this conversation with the White House is getting anywhere in arguing that reversing some of these policies in sort of an emergency measure, because no one really expected that this was where we would be right now with Russia invading Ukraine, that it is time to reverse some of the policies with Keystone or with leases on federal land, because that in and of itself would have almost an immediate impact on world oil prices?
It would have an immediate impact. The problem is right now on this is that they are completely beholden to the far left green lobby. And all the far left green folks are all trying to be able to say we don't want to have any more oil and gas, when they're just not dealing with realism. We do have oil and gas right now, and the power that Putin has to be able to go next door and murder his neighbors is because he's supplying oil and gas to the world, and the United States is not. We're not going to go next door and murder our neighbors. He's using the money from oil and gas to be able to attack his neighbors. We need to be able to meet that supply. Europe needs this. We need it. All over the world need it. And so at this point, they're just not connected to realism. We're trying to be able to bring practical solutions to what's happening right now on the ground, not what they wish it would be. And we've got statements from John Kerry just this week saying, well, he hopes that Russia will abide by its agreements on climate change. And we've got a statement from the White House last week saying, well, we'll replace oil and gas in Europe with new sources of energies in the future. It's just not dealing with realism, what's on the ground right now. People are being murdered, and they need an American response to this to deal with the issue.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine how anyone who cares about the environment is okay with the offset being people being killed and slaughtered in their home country in Ukraine, and that elevating our own ability to have energy sources that would undercut Russia's strength, you know, that trade-off is humane, is a pretty interesting argument for anybody to be making at this point. Senator, thank you very much. Good to have you with us today, sir.
Good to see you again.